we're made of. Standing our ground, here it goes down. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait and see, we're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we showing out. Legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. We don't back down. This is what we're made of. Standing our ground. Here it goes down. We're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait and see. We're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we showing out. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Legendary. Legendary.
I got metal running through my bones, a resurrection like a ghost. Hurricane, go ahead and blow. Where you could keep your white flag, I'll never fold. A shadow on the battlefield, a survivor never yield. A thunder, go ahead and shake. Don't run from the storm when I feel the rain. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. I got a fever in my blood, a falling embers from above. I feel the heat when the pressure blows, a wildfire that you can't control. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. With every beat of my heart, I'll be the light in the dark. You can't control this, I'm explosive. You can't control this, it's 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 explosive.
You know, we got people from Canada here tonight. We got people from Australia here tonight. Of course, all over the United States. They're here yearly for this event, and it just keeps getting bigger and better.
Talk about big races around the country. You know, folks talk about NASCAR races being huge events and, you know, dirt late model races and all these things being just massive events. Take a look at what you're doing right here. This truly is one of the most massive race events that you're going to find, and it happens right here in Texas, but nothing quite like this.
3, 2, 1. We are off and running at the Lone Star 600. Here we go. They head off into turn number 1.
There's every type of car, every type of racing incident, wrecks, anything that you want in racing you can find here for 3 hours every night.
Funnest time you'll ever have in watching a race will be right here at the Lone Star 600.
Drag race to the lunch.
LSRTV, the Community Radio Network, welcomes you to continued coverage of the Northwest Truck Series here tonight from the virtual Talladega Superspeedway. 212 miles await the drivers. A couple of drivers have a chance to make in the playoffs. And if you're on the outside looking in, you better find victory lane tonight as we get you ready to roll here for the Insurance Claims 212, round 19 of the season. And the final race of the regular season as well. The playoffs begin next week at Phoenix. Welcome to coverage. We're glad to be back with iRacing on LSRTV and CRN on simulcast. I'm Wesley Outland. Jeremy Stanley is alongside as our color analyst and producer director in the box, Mr. Charles Wooten, handling everything here tonight. So, Jeremy, as we get ready to prepare for tonight's race, if you're one of these drivers that are on the outside looking in, there is no tomorrow if you think about it. If you're going to go to a chance to run for a championship in Season 11 of the Northwest Series, you've got to find victory lane. I think we will see every driver that's outside looking in make desperate measures to do just that.
Yeah, this is it, man. What a track, though, to get right into the playoffs the following week or so. It's just, it's a crazy wild card racetrack, right? To put in front of everyone saying, hey, you have one more chance to make it, and anybody has a chance here at the same token. So you just got to go out there. You got to make the right calls. Of course, you can't practice for the big one. It's going to happen where it wants to happen. But outside of that, you got to hook up with your teammates. You got to make sure you get pit road down pat, because if you have a 1 second variance, all of a sudden you're going to lose the main pack. So a lot of things could go wrong for you when you're trying to chase those championship hopes. And, you know, you can get in your head sometimes. It's a huge mental game out here. And, you know, that's something that people that are racing tonight need to keep in check, is mental toughness, and make sure you hit your marks wherever you are.
We mentioned it's going to be 212 miles. Let's take a look at the race information for tonight at Talladega. No fast repair, obviously, in the series season this year. 100% fuel capacity, 4 total sets of tires. That's the original set that they'll be on at the drop of the green, and then 3 more sets in the pit area. 3 attempts at overtime if need be. 212 miles is the equivalent of 80 laps here at Talladega Superspeedway. 2.666 miles the distance that is this facility. Let's take a look now at the Kaufman Creative weather conditions, and obviously something we're going to be looking at is it is sim time. Air temp is 72 degrees. It is 92 degrees track temp. I got a feeling it'll be in the triple digits before we get into it, and it's just before 2 p.m. if you will, Central Time. They are in the Central Time Zone at East Tavoga, Alabama. That is just outside of where Talladega Super Speedway is. So the question is, drivers that need to make it in. Obviously, the playoffs begin next week. That'll be the round of 18. 18 drivers, if you will, Jeremy, will battle for the championship as qualifying is about to get on racetrack right now. And the first thing you got to think about is guys like in the top 10 that have at least one win, from multiple wins to one win, you're automatically locked in the playoffs. Sean Breitzman, Ryan Gormley, Tyler King, Devin West, Dan West Jr., Dennis Moore. Your guys that haven't not got wins but are in by points could be Paul Newton, Brian Barnes, Kevin Smith, Ryan Bloom, Jeff Stabnow, who started the season winning Daytona. All these guys, I think, can be comfortable knowing that whatever happens tonight, they could be comfortably in the top 18 to go for a championship, if you will.
Coming into this race, I definitely want to have a win underneath my belt because I do not want to be fighting here with Talladega and all the unknowns that could happen. So you could be surprised. You could be in 20th place and cross the line 5th and make it in on the final lap, or vice versa. So it's good to have all those drivers wins. They're comfortable. They can just have a fun race out here, do what they got to do to, finish it, of course. But you're locked in for next week, so that's great.
There you see, of course, the 11 machine. Taco Bell entry. That's, of course, Roy Grande. For the longest time, he was in the number 18. Now changed his number to number 11. And ready to see what this Toyota can do as drivers are on track now for qualifying. By the way, Sean Breitzman has a 7-point lead over Ryan Gormley in the regular season championship. 10 points back is Tyler King. 15 back is Devin West. 18 back is Dan West Jr. Dennis Moore, 23 back. 38 back Paul Newton. 41 and 44 for Brian Barnes and Kevin Smith. The top 10 separated by only 44 points, obviously. That's going to be something up for grabs to be the regular season champion for bragging rights, Jeremy. But in addition to that, anybody within, I would say, the top 7, 8 have a chance to get in here and try to rack up some points to climb the standings, if you will, before the season ends. There's Tyler King on track now. He's only 10 points back to Sean Breitzman, the points leader.
Yeah, there you go, too. In the last Super Speedway, it looks like it was the opening season. Ryan Bloom in the 25 won that thing, so I don't know if that's going to translate here in August out Talladega. He's one of the drivers here starting tonight. Looks like about 28 entries, at least from what I'm seeing on my end here. Qualifying, you would think it would just be a crapshoot right at the bottom of the track, but no, there's multiple ways to tackle this track to get the fastest time, which everybody wants that first pit box. That's what's most important for qualifying. If you don't get it, you might as well just start in the back if you're trying to play it safe. If you're one of those guys in the bubble, 80 laps. You don't need to put yourself 3 wide or in the top 10 mix and wreck out early. No fast repairs. You've already stated that. So you got to keep that truck clean for the guys who are in the bubble here tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about it. As now we see Dan West Jr. working on the racetrack, the number 55 machine, getting ready to take his qualifying time. Right now he is 5th on the board. Dan West Jr., by the way, 5th in the point standings as well. As Paul Newton, right now the Paul Newton Designs, the guy that's normally the road course king, at the top of the board. And here come the points leader, Sean Breitzman, truck number 46, originally from Puyallup, Washington, now resides in Tucson, Arizona. He, of course, is 2 wins this year for the driver of the number 46, and ready to see what that Toyota can do here on the clock now.
Yeah, there's 4 drivers that shared 2 wins this season, one being right here, the guy under camera, points leader Sean Breitzman. At the line, 54,779. It's going to temporarily move him to 5th on the boards out of the 8 posted times so far. And this is, remember, it for him. He's going to back it down.
Yeah, the top 18 obviously will make it into the playoffs when this race ends tonight here at Talladega. Here's Ryan Gormley. Here's the man of that Shell Pennzoil number 22. He is the prodigy. Right now, 7 points back in his rookie season with the Northwest Racing Series trucks, and already got 1 win and He's been consistent, though, with that one win earlier in the season, Jeremy. He has done what he needs to do, though, to put himself in the playoffs. And I think that's a safety net, knowing going into Talladega, because, Talladega could be so many unknowns. It could be crazy. Obviously, avoiding the big one is going to be paramount. But if you're one of these guys, like I said, at least in the top 12, you're in the playoffs. Guys on the outside looking in, possibly, Roy Grande, Frank Harris, if they can have a good run, there's a possibility. I think I was told that Chris Kynes and not Stephen O'Hare, Chris Kynes, and watching him, if he can at least start the race, I think somebody was saying he'll automatically go to the next round of the playoffs, and Frank Harris as well. Those are two names that obviously they're in the top 18, but if they have something happen to them tonight where they fall out, there's a chance that they might possibly be able to make it in on a lower seed for Chris Kynes and, of course, Frank Harris, the legend in the 11, as we see Gormley qualify, and he's got to find some speed, Jeremy. He's only right now mid-pack of the top 15.
I think I was getting word that the top 16 transfer, not the top 18. We'll see if we get that corrected or at least confirmed. But top 16. So Frank Harris, he's on that bubble spot. He is in 16th in points without a win, so he could easily drop out of this thing. The points right behind him are pretty dang close from what I'm seeing here. He's 115 back. He got 126 back. That's Roy Grande on the 11. You touched on him. 141, Toby Ritters. That's doable. He's got the win, so he's good. But 162, next person out, John Ottenbacher. I think he's going to be out unless there's some drastic difference here. So Frank Harris has, him and Roy Grande are going to be the ones to really look out for, because that is that transfer spot. So I would keep an eye on those two tonight.
Yeah, but I think I did say the top 18. My apologies. It is the round of 16 after tonight's race. So there you see right now all these drivers preparing. Qualifying is just about ready to wrap up. And right now, unofficially, currently, it is Dennis Moore, the fast qualifier, 54.255 seconds. Kynes, Tidrick, Kim, Rogers, other drivers that are in the back that have not pitted yet. The clock is ticking. If they're going to put a lap down around Talladega to try to put a good starting spot here, they better do it now. We'll take a break. We're back with more from Talladega in just a moment.
Come on.
It's got to be 12 o'clock, right? So that means it's beer time.
Gather around, people, we're doing a little sideshow about the dinosaurs here.
This is one hell of a roll cage.
Come 9,000 miles to wreck each other.
Now, I don't have hobo stab insurance. Funny idea at first that somehow we're sitting here in Australia with a couple of wrecked race cars, drinking beer and laughing about it.
Like this?
Are they edible?
They are f***ed up.
We're a racing family that you can trust on and off the track. Here at Hercules Foundation Repair, we are here to help with our free in-home evaluations and personal repair plans. So if you're looking for foundation repair, go online or give us a call to schedule your free inspection.
Back here at Talladega Superspeedway, and the clock is still ticking down to 0. They have less than 4 minutes remaining if they're going to try to put a lap down on the racetrack right now. So far, only 16 drivers have took time, and there's probably about a dozen or more, if you will, that are still awaiting to go onto the racetrack. And if they're not going to do it, they're exactly going to run out of time here, and they'll start in the back, Jeremy.
Dennis Moore still holds P1 at the moment. If he holds on for the next 4 minutes, which looks like for showing grid, it's going to have him tied with Devin West for 3 poles on the season. Kevin Smith, last week's winner, has 5 poles. He leads the field, for most poles in the season. But yeah, they're grid, so that's it. 16 times posted, and the rest of them are going to file in by iRating. But go ahead and take it away. Starting lineup.
Let's give it the starting lineup here tonight for the Insurance Claims 212 at Talladega. Fast qualifier will go, of course, to Dennis Moore. He'll be the fast man with Paul Newton alongside the road course king in row 1. Row number 2 at Talladega will find Ryan Bloom in the 25, a former Truck Series champion, and Stefano here in the 41. He'll start 4th. Row 3, you'll see Tyler King in the 21, along with Kevin Smith in the 00 for Win Racing. Row 4, Roy Grande, good qualifying effort for the Taco Bell machine, and the points leader, Sean Brightsman, will fire off 4th. Your top 10, Jeremy will find multi-time champion Dan West Jr. and former Northwest Cup champion Brian Barnes. He'll start 10th in the 4.
11th through 20th, we got Carl Burke in 11th, Jeff Stabnow in 12th, 13th, Christopher White, 14th place, John Ottenbacher. Starting 15th, the 81 at Chase Carrillo, 16th place, Ryan Gormley. 17th will be Stephen Paulison, 18th place, Rob Campbell Jr., 19th, Troy Daggett in 20th place, BJ Tridick.
Yeah, we're going to move on to row 11 now. BJ Tidrick in the 72, followed by Frank Harris in the 77. He needs to have a solid run. He can get in by points in the top 16, followed by James Viney, the Catman, and Ron Hunter in the 30 at row 12. Row 13 will find Chris Kynes. He's another driver that could possibly make it in by points in the 16 spot. And Todd Miles in the number 62. He'll start 26th. Scott Hutchinson in the 91 and Tyler Kim break up row 14. And your top 30 will find the 29 starter of Dana Rogers in the 07. So there's the lineup, of course, as these drivers get ready to take their parade lap and get ready to drop the green flag. Jeremy, we mentioned drivers that are on the outside looking in or in desperation to have a good run at Talladega to go to the playoffs. What do the drivers do that know that they're in the playoffs regardless of what happens here tonight? How do you think they're going to handle Talladega and, of course, the trials and tribulation of this track and this race will provide?
Yeah, have fun. That's all you can do, man. You don't have to have any stress here. You have no weight on your shoulders. You're just out here to perform your best, have some fun. That's how I would approach this thing. And that's the case. I'm not trying to lag back. I'm going to the front. I'm going to charge hard. I'm going to go 2-3 wide, try to lead the most laps, set some personal fun challenges out there. Knowing you're locked in does not matter. Go have at it.
There you go. Lights off already on the iRacing pace car. We'll get ready to come to the green flag this time. By the way, don't forget, next week, the playoffs begin for the round of 16. It starts right before Labor Day when we go to Phoenix Raceway, and that will be again next Monday night, August the 26th. Then we take off for Labor Day. Then we're at Charlotte in Kentucky on September 9th and 16th. That'll be the 3 rounds that make it into the round of 16. Those drivers that win will move into the round of 12, beginning on September the 30th at the Milwaukee Mile. So the race for a championship is on after tonight. Talladega will not disappoint. We promise you. Don't look out for the big one. It's not a matter of if, it is when. It is inevitable. It will happen at any time. We'll see what these drivers do. The smart thing would be get in line and ride for 80 laps and at least get to about lap 60, 65, and then let the chaos and mayhem ensue to determine the winner. It's all up to what these guys' mindset wants to be. Dennis Moore, Ryan Bloom on the front row, working their way to the line. Green flag in the air. Of course, Paul Newton right there on the outside lane. Lets Moore get the jump in the 44. Will bring him into corner number 1, but now Newton will reel him back in as they climb the banking into turn number 1 and 2, Jeremy, for the first lap.
27 is going to get a great launch here, Mr. Newton, with the draft help on the outside. Even though there's only 3 trucks, that little outside banking, it shifts back down to the flat, and you see it. 44 is going to go from first to third down the back straightaway. Now the numbers are currently on the inside. So you're going to see Mr. Moore in the 44. Well, actually almost contact with the 00 of Kevin Smith. Looks like they keep it going as they get through turns 3 and 4. And it looks like the inside is going to prevail a little bit here. The outside still trying to get single filed up there on the second groove. A little shift up there in power. Now all of a sudden the outside's going to have the momentum. Here comes the 44. He's going to take the lead off of turn 2.
Give the opening lap to the driver, Paul Newton. A little flip-flopping back and forth between Moore, Newton, O'Hare up in that mix. Look at that number 41, Beaver State Racing entry down to the inside as Grande will cover with him. Now you got Wynn Racing up on the outside lane. Dennis Moore, Ryan Bloom, and Mr. Kevin Smith all in tow. Wynn Racing top 3 pulls from the outside to the inside lane, and they're the new leaders in 3 and 4.
Up turn 4, single file here for the top 5, 2 by 2 by 2, everywhere further back. And with the most recent iRacing update, the draft package is so, you have to be close to the guys. If you're off just a little bit, you fall back a lot. So you're going to see a lot more close action here as compared to earlier in the season, or this year rather. And so the top lane is actually a little bit harder to get the momentum built up. They're going to have to utilize side draft more frequently, a little closer to one another. And so that's something you're going to have to keep your eye out to try to get to the front. But right now the inside lane, top 3 single file still here and going to 3.
Back straightaway off the back stretch down to the third turn, up that 34 degrees of banking. As they work their way off of turn number 3 and 4. Working down into the tri-oval. Opening lap so far, fair game for everyone. Dennis Moore leads the cavalry on the bottom lane. Here comes King to power up top. He's got help from the points leader, Sean Brightsman, to follow. And right now we're going to go in a conga line, 2 by 2 by 2. Now the leader, King, is up in front as they go into turn number 1.
The guys are calling me liars right now. They're easily making the outside work. Inside momentum through 1 and 2, though. Back to the back straightaway. It should be a dead heat for the race lead. A lot of trucks there, too, going to the back. It looks like dropping below the yellow line. Very common to see guys do this early to get outside of what could be a problem that they might be sensing there. So that's going to temporarily slow down the inside lane to the top now off of turn 4. I think we're going to see the inside maybe fall back a little bit as the 21, Mr. King, gonna have a dead heat there. I don't think it's going to get momentum, though. Surprisingly, the top 3 are still nose to tail so strong. They're going to keep the 44 of Moore there to the lead.
Another lap being scored here. Quickly, everybody staying in line. Single, well, not single file, we're 2 by 2. Ready to see if anybody will try to make something work on the outside lane up against the safer barrier, but honestly, we just don't have time for that right now. Let's get in line. Let's try to just get into position. Find your teammates, find your allies, if you will, your drafting partners, drivers that'll help you rally to the front. And right now, I think that's exactly what these guys are doing. Is now Dennis Moore goes to the outside lane, opens the door for another Wynn Racing teammate. Here comes Ryan Bloom with the help of Kevin Smith from the bottom. And we're 3 wide for the first time tonight as they go through the tri-oval.
Tries to go to the top, gets denied, puts right into the sucker hole, 3 wide. He actually slides in right in front of Mr. Smith as there's still 3 wide, second row on back for 3 rows straight. And all of a sudden here, we're 6 laps in, a lot of 3 wide action up at the front half of the field. But at the same token, they're giving each other a great amount of space. Glad to see that. Not pressing issue at all. See everybody else on back outside the top 10 single file on the bottom, just trying to stay in tow in the draft here of the guys up front as they all single file back to 2 actually instead of 3 through turn 3 and 4. And right now the inside top 3 single file, 4th on back 2 by 2.
Here they come back down to the tri-oval. Coming to the line. It's now Bloom back in front. We're 3 wide again. Kevin Smith got shuffled out of the dirty air. Had to go from the middle lane back to the bottom lane behind under the machine of Moore. Win Racing 1, 2, and 3 in spots. But now the battle on the outside lane. Here comes Jeff Stabnow, the Daytona winner. He won in the super speedway race at Daytona that punches ticket into the playoffs round of 16. He's looking for the lead at Talladega to the back straightaway.
He's got a great chance at it here. Real close, the top 5 trucks right now on the outside lane. Really buttoned up, giving all the assistance where they can. Through 3 and 4, the 25 of Bloom barely has it right now by a half a truck length. They close in a little bit to get the little side draft off of turn 4. Dead heat, this is going to be a close one here. Stabnow or Bloom, they're bouncing back and forth on the tower. Oh, we might go 3 wide. He dips out of line. It's going to slow down the outside lane. Ryan Bloom leads that lap.
Yeah, look at that. Working into the corner, back up the bank in again here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Right now, Moore on the bottom of the racetrack. Ryan Bloom now up on the top. He'll now put that truck up into the top spot. There's contact! Ryan Bloom gets turned almost into the Stabnow machine. Somehow they hold it together. We stay in formation. Here comes Carl Burke from the bottom of the racetrack. Back up the racetrack in the top 10. It scrambles everybody in different packs, but we still stay green. What a save by these guys on the back straightaway.
The worst person out of that one there is Jeff Stabnow. Falls back to 11th after being up there in first and second place. Heavy damage to the right side of that truck. And just a little bit of a right rear bump sent him into the wall. Yeah, great job everybody else by not spinning out and causing a big wreck there. But right now, that's really going to space out this field because we did not get a yellow flag. You see it on your screen. Top 6 looks like got about a 1.5 breakaway to everybody else there in that second pack, about 10 trucks.
And that could have been disastrous for not just Ryan Bloom, but also Jeff Stabnow. Jeff Stabnow got the short end of the stick, as you mentioned. He fell all the way back to 11th. And maybe not just Stabnow. Sean Breitzman also come very close to crashing. He fell all the way to the bottom of the apron, and the points leader is now back to 14th. Nonetheless, we stay green as the leaders work their way off of turn number 4. Drivers look like they might be coming to pit road, possibly. We do see Jeff Stabnow on pit road. Maybe more damage on the 24 than we thought for the Billings, Montana driver. Meanwhile, Bloom, the leader, fires him back into turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, you see the right front of that thing just pancaked right now at the box here. He's definitely got some optional damage. Might not be required, but he's going to need that damage repaired to get that thing to at least contention if he can pick up a quick yellow to get cycled back on the lead lap and in the main pack here. But focusing up at the front here, here's your top 5. Bloom, Moore, Smith, Grande, Ottenbacher as they go 1 through 3 and 4 here. No pressure behind them. They got a whole 2.25 from them and 6th on back. So right now, this is the plan. You need to just stay single file, keep everybody else behind you, and try to manage this race lead right now.
Well, nonetheless, whatever happened there with Stabnow, we'll try to get a report on the pit lane to find out what's going on with the 24 as the LSRTV 4K Ford having a problem, and he's on the pit lane to the service of his crew. Jeff Stabnow, again, his problems put him in the back of the top 25. Nonetheless, Ryan Bloom, who almost kind of turned Stabnow in racing form to the back straightaway, is back out in front. It's Win Racing now 1, 2, and 3. That's the way it's been. And honestly, Jeremy Stanley, I know you came on in the latter stages of the season, but throughout this year, it has been a battle between Win Racing and Team LSRTV for the championship.
That's something to notate here throughout the playoffs, too. If it's been like that all season, it's probably going to be that way during the playoffs. And I'm really surprised there that the second pack, I said they're going to try to manage the lead, but within one lap, they caught them from over a second back. So they had a really strong setup there as far as who was leading the pack and how much speed they're able to carry. But now it's a 2x2 race here for the top 12. Everybody else 5+ seconds back. They're not in contention at the moment. But yeah, all of a sudden we're getting really racy once more here for the race lead.
This track measures at 2.66 miles at Talladega Super Speedway. This race distance will be 80 laps, obviously. That is the equivalent of exactly 212.8 miles as they thunder down through the tri-oval. Here comes now Moore. Will he jump out of line and leave Smith hanging? No, he will not. Bloom stays locked to the double yellow line to the inside. They work their way up the racetrack, and now here comes now Dan West Jr., a two-time series champion, with the help of Carl Burke and John Ottenbacher. They make their run on the backstretch as they work off two.
Numbers slightly have the advantage on the inside lane here, but this does not stop the outside from making some strong moves. Heading off into turn number 3. Typically this favors the inside lane. Let's see how it looks like off of turn 4. Got 5 on the top, 7 on the bottom. And about the top 2 or 3 on each group. Tucked nice and close. There's a little bit of a gap there in the middle of each lane. Off of turn 4 into the tri-oval, the race leader single file, not anymore. Mr. West has a shot, does not get there in time, just by a fender. Ryan Bloom leads that lap.
Bloom on the bottom. Here comes Moore on the inside. Look at the outside lane. Here comes the top. That's Dan West Jr., Sean Breitzman, as well as John Ottenbacher. That's Team LSRTV, Team Win Racing. Carl Burke, the monkey in the middle of that battle, as they're right there, door to door in this pack for the first 12 trucks into turn number 3.
On and off of turn number 4 here, the inside, still one truck. Mr. Bloom leading the inside. Dan West Jr. is going to get a great launch here, but still it looks very similar to the last lap, just by a quarter of a truck. It's going to go to Ryan Bloom once more, this time a little bit more spaced out here in each lane, cooling off the trucks or whatnot here. As we're on lap 15, at this outside can get just a little more tucked in with one another. I think they're going to get Dan West to this lead here shortly.
And Dan West Jr., no stranger to winning at Talladega or for the championships of that matter, a two-time series champion. Get it back-to-back. I believe it was in 2020 and 2021 when the 55 got it done. And, of course, obviously his son Devin West, the defending champion of the series, not present tonight for the 5. But he's already done what he needs to do to punch himself into the playoffs, just not running this race this evening. All this goes on as they work through the tri-oval. It is now Ryan Bloom inside. Battles Dan West Jr., Moore, followed by Burke. What a good run Jeremy Carl Burke's got going in that teal and white 53 as he works up on the outside lane in turn 1 and 2 and 4th.
Yeah, he's doing an excellent job right now. Doing everything he can for Dan West. Just trying a little bit more. And he can get there, one truck in the back. That's second pack. They've caught him by almost 2 seconds in the past 5 laps. You can see the drag 2 by 2 versus single file is causing here. Over 2 seconds gain in 5 laps. That's really impressive there. They're going to get here before the round of pit stops, I would imagine, take place, which is probably, what, another 15 laps or so. But, yeah, still 55, just a little short here. Needs a little more help. It's going to be about a quarter of a truck once more here. Looks like Ryan's sitting good with the people that are behind him at the moment.
Saw Dennis Moore just get a little antsy a moment ago behind the leader of Bloom as he had some, I guess, some dirty air he overcame in the draft and got a little sideways. This opened it up possibly for 3 wide if Kevin Smith can get there. Passing another truck a lap down on the tail end. That's Miles, by the way, that goes a lap down in that truck. All this happening as they work their way back into the corner again, up the bank in here in turns number 3 and 4. In tow, 2 by 2. Looks like now Dan West Jr. Ink and blink and nod. Burke behind him, so is Ottenbacher as they power their way back to the line here on lap number 16.
The inside just got a little more momentum this time around. By a whole truck length still, Ryan Bloom. Early contender to lead the most laps here tonight, 18 laps in this 80-lap event for the Insurance Claims 212. But look at this, here we go. First time we're going to see maybe the outside lead the exit off of turn 2. And he's there momentarily. You see the tower, it's bouncing back and forth. Can they carry this in 3 and 4? One truck, the purple one, dips out to the 3rd lane, trying to cool it off or trying to maybe get the 3rd lane going. Either way, it's going to slow down that momentum that they just had, and just like that, Ryan Bloom and Dennis Moore, and even Kevin Smith there. 3 trucks, single file almost, exiting turn 4.
That's Christopher White, by the way, as now here comes now the lead pack running down Jeff Stabnow. Stabnow now goes to the outside lane up against the safer barrier. Now he'll get hooked up with now White's machine and Gormley. They're going to bypass the 24 as Jeff Stabnow now falling back another lap down. I think he's now going to go multiple laps down in that truck number 24 Ford. Again, all of that happened when he was up in the front pack battling for the lead. Contact with Ryan Bloom then sent Sean Brightsman spinning, or at least dropping to the bottom of the apron. No caution was called. And other than that, we have been racing so far perfectly, working lap number 19 when they come to the line this time by. Top 10, Ryan Bloom, Dennis Moore, Kevin Smith, Dan West Jr., Roy Grande. Top 5, bottom 5 of 10, Carl Burke, John Onnebacher, Brian Barnes, of course, Mr. Carrillo, followed by Mr. Tyler King. The top 10, that's the way they stand right now, but it is Ryan Bloom to the inside of the racetrack as they go back into turn 1.
Top 18 are here. This pack that was separated, no more. Almost the entire top 20 back together racing for the lead. Now this could change everything here between Ryan Bloom and Dan West Jr. Dan West temporarily gets his nose ahead of Ryan Bloom entering turn 3. So this is a good chance of maybe dethroning Ryan for maybe a lap or 2. But there's the spacing that, oh, no. There it is.
Whoa,
Oh,
trouble,
man, Dan
Carl
West.
Burke airborne. Carl Burke into
Yeah,
Dan West
Carl
Jr. He is still flipping. Looks like Jeff Stabnow just got a piece of it as well. Big trouble in turn 4. Chris White crashed. Other drivers caught up in it, and the caution is now out for the first time as they wreck hard in the tri-oval there, Jeremy, off of turn number 4.
I'm so glad Carl's in a virtual truck right now. He took a 90-degree angle to the outside wall of turn 4. Watch this hit. That was a massive collision to the outside wall. He gets a little loose there. A little bad bump.
A bad bump draft.
Man, all 4 wheels off the ground. Slides on the roof. And you see 5 or 6 more trucks pile in there below the yellow line.
And how about Jeff Stabnow, Jeremy? Already a lap down, had problems earlier in the race, went another lap down whenever he got passed by the pack, and then he literally had nowhere to go when he got caught up in this accident as well.
Yeah, that's super unfortunate, right? And that was the big one, I would say. 6, 7 trucks involved. Of course, Carl Burke being the one to be done. There's no way he's getting back on the track with that damage, I don't think, anyways. But yeah, there's a lot of trucks. There's a couple hit the outside wall, a lot of right side damage. That's going to be several minutes of optional. It's going to put them at least 1 lap down before we go back to green flag. And just one bad bump up with the front half of the field is going to do it. But we're going to see everyone come down pit road here. We're over halfway on our field run, so I would expect every single person in the lead lap to pit this time.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at strategy-wise, 20 laps in, 60 laps to go, you're going to try to break this down into quarters, if you will. With 3 quarters remaining, 20 laps in, I think we're going to see guys pit, and we're seeing just that. Drivers involved in that accident include Stephen O'Hare, John Onnebacher, Christopher White, Jeff Stabnow, Frank Harris, and, of course, Carl Burke, who had a stellar run going for him in truck number 53. We'll take a break. We're also at the top of the hour. We'll pause very quickly for 10 seconds of network identification on CRS. This is the Northwest Racing Series.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Come on.
It's got to be 12 o'clock, right? So that means it's beer time.
Gather round, people, but that little sideshow about the dinosaurs here.
This is one hell of a roll cage.
come 9,000 miles to wreck each other.
Now, I don't have hobo stab insurance. Funny idea at first that somehow we're sitting here in Australia with a couple of wrecked race cars, drinking beer and laughing about it.
Like this?
Are they edible?
Man, up.
Back here at Talladega Super Speedway, drivers have came down to the pit lane that weren't part of that multi-car kerfluffle off of turn number 4. Drivers involved including Stefan O'Hare, John Ottenbacher, Christopher White, Jeff Stabnow, Frank Harris, and Carl Burke. And obviously, Jeremy, we were talking during the network timeout, and that's a tough break for guys like Carl Burke for sure. Had such a good run going for him, and then of course caught up in that crash, and yeah, he's got to try to find a way to redeem himself. And you got to remember, too, my friend, there's no fast repair. You got to go on the, if you will, damaged vehicle policy, which basically what that is in iRacing, is you got to take time to try to go on the pit lane to get your truck fixed.
Yep, you do there. And depending on the damage, if you think maybe there's going to be a caution somewhat soon, you can say, hey, I'm only going to fix what I can to stay on the lead lap and then maybe hopefully get another caution soon to get the rest repaired. Or you just say, hey, I'm just going to take the lap down, get it all repaired this time, and see what I can't do to get it back. But multiple ways to tackle that. But yeah, there was several trucks, I would imagine, with minutes of optional, maybe some required. And we'll see what that looks like. We'll see how many of those guys can stay with the pack, who cannot.
Sure.
Let me go do a green flag here in a half a lap.
I'll be welcoming you back to our coverage, of course, iRacing on LSRTV. Of course, I am Wesley Outland, as Jeremy Stanley is right there alongside as well. We still have a lot of racing left to go, no doubt, again, as we had a caution involving a multi-car accident in the tri-oval, or entering the tri-oval, obviously going off of turn number 4 to put us under caution. And again, what a tough break. Just a lot of good drivers got taken out. But honestly, I got to give props to them, Jeremy. That could have been a big wreck with Ryan Bloom. We're seeing the 25 of Ryan Bloom now going to restart, it looks like, outside the top 5, or actually, correction, in 4th, as we'll get ready for a restart. But again, what a save he made. Sean Brightsman, Jeff Stabnow. I'm sure Jeff Stabnow, if he can get fixed, he'll try to get back in this race. But we're ready to see what happens as we go back to a restart, as we complete lap number 22, working lap number 23, this time by Tyler King, Brian Barnes. Get to the Geico restart zone. They thunder down into the front straightaway. Remember, the start-finish line at the end of the pit lane. Here going into turn 1, there's a bump by Bloom to Barnes. Barnes on the outside, King on the bottom. It's King for the whole shot into turn 1.
Good whole shot there. I don't know if it's going to last out on the back straightaway or not, but here we go. Off of turn 2. Here comes Mr. Barnes on the outside. Great push from the 25, Ryan Bloom, who's been leading most of this event so far for the Insurance Claims 212. And there we are, Mr. Ryan Barnes to the front momentarily. Tyler King gets back in front of him here through turns 3 and 4. But with a new set of drivers on the top, I'm really wanting this outside lane to work. I want to see it be competitive, and they got a lot of strong drivers up there this time. This might be the combination that they need.
Yeah, we'll certainly keep an eye on that again, as you mentioned, as they come back through the tri-oval down to the line. Put another lap on the board, approaching now lap number 25 next time around. And obviously Tyler King, Dennis Moore, Brian Barnes now in the battle of that win racing sandwich, as Ryan Bloom losing some spots. Look at Roy Grande battle on the inside of the Taco Bell Purple 11. He's got Stefan O'Hare in tow as they work the back straightaway.
Headed off into turn 3. A lot of drivers like to take the bottom, but look at this. The number 4, Mr. Brian Barnes, has enough gap. I thought he could have maybe went to the inside. To get 2, 3, and 4, he likes to stay on the top, but he has the momentum. I think this is what we needed to see, as we're staying focused in the middle of this pack here with the number 11 of Roy Grande. There he goes. Brian Barnes to the inside lane, recognizes that's the way to be. He's going to lead this lap on the bottom now. Now the 25, Ryan Bloom has a chance to get back to the front again as he's leading the outside charge.
Look at Dan West Jr. right up under the back end. Oh, King drifts up in front of Bloom. Oh, they go. That could have been bad. They check up, though, and they quickly go to the binders. And now we've stacked them up 2 by 2 by 2, like Noah leading the virtual animals to the arc down into the third turn. Look at Barnes on the bottom now. King on the outside. And they flip-flop for the lead on the scoring pylon as they work in turn 3 and 4.
Off of 4 here. Dead heat. A little bit of shifting in this main pack here. Through the tri-oval, looks like the 21's definitely going to be at the line. Tyler King, I think this is his first lap led here tonight on lap 26. Down 27. Look at the massive run on the outside. Pushing back the inside lane just temporarily, but the 4, he's going to have position if he wants to jump back to the top. 21, 25, looks like 25, Ryan Bloom, he's going to be the first person to do it. He's going to check up Dan West in the 55, heading off into turn 3.
3 wide as Brightsman up high. Here comes Kevin Smith going right in the middle of the dirty air. 3 wide for a moment, with Brightsman now tucking in line behind the Smith machine. Oh boy, that got crazy for just a moment. It's now Dan West Jr. will put the 55 to the lead as they work lap number 27.
There is so much movement right now within this top 5. They're just trying anything they can to lead a lap. It almost seems like they don't want to follow or work with one another. And it is just giving us new leaders every single time. But back to the familiar story, 25, Ryan Bloom on the bottom. Of course, he's got a different dancing partner with him right now. That's the 21 of Tyler King. But 25 on the bottom leading. Dan West in the 55 on the top leading. And so, just like it was before the caution break, these two guys are going to be trying to switcheroo here at the top of the scoring pylon here as they come to the checkered or the start-finish line rather to complete lap 28.
It is Ryan Bloom in the lead. Still a long way to go in this race. Again, as we forementioned, across the stripe, it is Ryan Bloom, Dan West Jr., Tyler King, Brian Barnes, Kevin Smith, top 5. Racing rolls on again. As now we see the back straightaway working into position. Watch this now. Bloom on the bottom, West up high. Barnes there. You see King there. A little shuffle. Got a little inaggressive on the Beaver State Racing. 21 a King on the leader of Bloom. But Bloom protects that double yellow line there, Jeremy. He is not going nowhere. He doesn't waver. He doesn't falter. He stays locked to the inside. Everybody else can battle around him. Here comes now West to power back on the outside with now Barnes and Brightsman as they go back up the bank and into 1.
21 has an opportunity to jump to the top if he wants it. So does Kevin Smith momentarily. He can jump in front of Dan West if he wants to lead the top. He's going to not do it. The 21 still has it. There he goes. He's going to take the chance. He's going to lead the outside momentarily. We're going to see the 00 Kevin Smith. Going to push Brian Bloom. But actually, what a move. Dan West able to hook up at the right time.
Oh, yeah.
With the 21 of Tyler King. Momentarily got him into the race lead. And off of turn 4, they're going to have a great chance to get him another lap led.
I got to ask you this question, Jeremy. Is that a smart thing right now to do that? I mean, we're starting to see a lot of shuffling going on down. There's that lap machine with the front end tore up of Chris White now. He'll go a lap down as everybody flies by him. But we're starting to see some more aggressive bumps. I don't want to say that it's intentional, but it's definitely trying to find a way to maybe intimidate the guy in front of you or behind you to go for a hole shot to get around these guys. Look at them right there, tandem drafting down the back straightaway. When do you got to kind of watch that? And obviously you got to be dead center in making those moves, because if not, you could really cause a crash here.
I'm always wrong on information, my thoughts about it, but I think what I'm going to guess here is we're seeing a lot of like practice, essentially. They're getting really comfortable with who they're racing around right now. So they're making the moves early. And so they can have this information in the bank for when they get to 10, 15 laps to go, when they got to make those final moves to put themselves for a chance of victory. You do the moves now so you know how the trucks react with one another. And then you say, okay, I've got the information I need. We're going to replicate this in 40 laps. And this is going to give us our chance to win. So this is probably what we're seeing right now compared to the opening laps where they're just getting warmed up. Now they're there. They're warmed up. And now they're just kind of seeing what they can do with their trucks tonight.
Side by side, stride for stride as they work off turn 4 down to the tribal again, closing in on the halfway mark of this race. That'll be 106 miles of 212 miles here for 80 laps. That'll be the halfway mark. As right now, Ryan Bloom in the lead. His boss man for Win Racing, Kevin Smith. Walla Walla Washington driver right there behind him. And then you got, of course, the driver of Dennis Moore, who's in tow. Another Win Racing driver. Look at lap traffic up ahead. Get it out of the way. Goes Ryan Gormley. Clear a path. They're going to fly by the Prodigy as they work into 3, Jeremy.
This will put Ryan Gormley 3 laps down there in the 22 as they pass him. He was all by himself on the massive speed difference. You got one more lap truck there passing him right now. The rest of the track up front is clear. It's kind of shifted the outside lane. It broke up quite a bit here. Dan West at the bottom squeezes right back in front of Ryan Bloom. There was no more than 6 inches separating those bumpers. Squeezing in the bottom, top 4 single file. Only 3 trucks running the top lane right now. And it continues to be that way down the back straightaway.
Into turn number 3. Look at now King. He's in the middle now. Here comes Dan West Jr. to the bottom. Ryan Bloom up top. We're 3 wide for the lead. Kevin Smith in the middle watches on. Roy Grande powers to the bottom. He'll carry Carrillo with him. Now we're 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Is this too early to get this crazy now here before halfway? Jeremy at Talladega.
This is crazy. Yeah, a little too early for this, but where'd this come from? It was very relaxed on the back straightaway. Very casual racing. You get to turn 3 and chaos just broke out of nowhere. 3 wide for 2 rows deep, and now they're trying to split the guy up front in the top lane. Oh, bad move. Almost hooked him in the right rear. Still trying to split him. They said, nope, buddy, 21, you're going to the back. We don't want you up here. New person leading the outside charge. But yeah, these guys are just getting frisky up here, aren't they?
They certainly are. We're watching it.
It's making it fun up here for us to watch this thing, man.
Yeah, man. Hold your breath. That's all I can say.
Bunch of unexpected stuff going on. Still 3 wide for 2 separate rows. See 00 leading the charge on the top now. Dan West led that lap, but right there, 00. Mr. Kevin Smith, last week's winner at Chicago. He's going to bring the 44 of Dennis Moore with him on the top. They're still 3 wide, 2 trucks in the middle. Number still strong on the bottom with this outside top 3 right now, with Bloom pushing as the 3rd truck. Doing an excellent job keeping these top 3 trucks as you go back to 2 wide. They're still hooking up on the wall line. Huge gap between the inside and outside.
And halfway is quickly approaching also. There's about another handful of laps now. 4 laps to be exact as they come through the tribal. Working lap number 36 this time by Stephen O'Hare up in front. Remember, Stephen O'Hare got caught up in an accident earlier. He has rallied his way with the troops to get back to the front. John Ottenbacher, the Billings, Montana driver for Team LSRTV, having a bad night along with Stab now. There you see Chris White again. That's the 2nd time in 4 laps we've seen Chris White get lapped.
Yeah, I do believe you're correct there. New leader, Stephen O'Hare. This could be his first lap lead. He's got a lot of help on the bottom here. Dan West momentarily blinks in and out. Part of the virtual racing is you're going to have internet connection problems every once in a while. But I think this is going to be it, which should be the 5th different leader. If he can get to the line, it's going to be close, but Kevin Smith is going to lead that lap from the top.
O'Hare up in front. He leads the way. There goes Smith in second. King third. Moore and West top 5. See them now starting to get back up to the bottom of the racetrack.
He brings Dennis Moore with him to the bottom here momentarily, but 21, Tyler King trying things. He tried going 3 wide once more, and for the second time, they left him to drive, and it shuffled him outside of the top 5 momentarily back to 4th. That 21 is. We're still looking at, one truck. Kevin Smith. Stephen O'Hare made a bad bump and almost dumped Tyler. He's able to correct it before getting to turn 3. And just like that, we're going to see the 2nd and 3rd lane have the momentum here off of turn 4. Kevin's got a great launch here with Stephen still pushing him back. Mike and him, crossover all the way to the front. Tyler King, check that out. From 2nd to 5th to 1st, all within the same lap. Gets that lap led.
What a job.
Excellent move there. What a run there to get back to the front real quick.
And we're halfway when they come to the line this time by. It'll be cross flags. 40 down, 40 to go with the insurance claims, 212. So far, we've only had 1 caution. And that, of course, was a pretty big accident, if you will. Multi-truck accident. Took out a lot of good drivers. Happened on lap number 20. About the midway point of the race is when that took place. As right now we come back to the line. And here we see now them working through the tribal. Cross flags out. 40 down, 40 to go. Dennis Moore now back to the lead, but Tyler King will battle back for Jarrell. Whoa, Ryan Bloom up high. He got fishtailed for just a minute, but he couldn't pull the trigger on the outside lane as they work the banking.
He's trying to get back to where he was that all first stint. But he's going to drop back to the bottom momentarily. Sean Breitzman now for the first time tonight is going to lead the charge on the outside lane. Let's see what he can do with that bright teal truck. Nope. 21's going to try to step out once more. Ryan Bloom's going to quickly gobble up that space there on the inside lane. 3 trucks on the top. And just like that, the 44, Dennis Moore, solo truck temporarily. But look at the run from Breitzman with Tyler King. He's going to push almost entire truck length down as the 21's going to lead this lap again.
Side by side, Moore on the bottom, King up high. Bloom and Breitzman right there in tow as well. Smith O'Hare, first 3 rows. Inside, Kevin Smith darted below the double yellow line to the back straightaway, but quickly got right back in line. Boy, it's a good thing he done that, Jeremy. I think we would have had the word crash.
Yeah, we were really close to seeing something. Man, like the first wreck was just snapped out of nowhere. It took out a lot of drivers, and right now they're still packed up. Top 15, 16, all within 2 seconds one another. So if these guys make another wrong move, we could take out a ton more trucks. Completing lap 42, 21 is going to lead that lap once more. 6 on the top. Everybody else single file on the bottom. And excuse me, we're going to have Breitzman move up to the 3rd lane, shuffling almost out of lane here. He's going to close in a couple drivers. They're going to file back in 2 by 2 now. But Dennis Moore has a good strong lead here with Ryan Bloom and Tyler Smith right behind him.
So the first half of this race in the books. Real quickly, let's take a look at the Virginia811.com race summary. That's call before you dig. Virginia811.com race summary. At the bottom left of the monitor, it'll pop up here in just a moment. As you can see, probably everybody working through the tribal again. Another lap. Dennis Moore inside. Lap truck Chris White down on the bottom. Well, I wanted to show the race information or the race summary so far as we're just after halfway, but I do know there was only 1 caution flag. What I really wanted to see was how many lead changes we've seen, because it's not been somebody, if you will, Jeremy, staying up in front and dominating. That front spot is flip-flop back and forth with one another. Look at now King and Brightsman. These are guys that, like, well, obviously Brightsman almost got caught up in the accident earlier on the backstretch when Jeff Stabnow had problems. He's now worked his way all the way back up to the front, and now he free falls back to 7th or 8th. That's how quick this draft line is here.
I think Charles Wooten went out for an ice cream sandwich momentarily as we're fixated right now on the 44. Mr. Dennis Moore, who's in 2nd place. Now the outside, we got a truck that we've not seen lead the charge up here, that yellow Chevrolet Silverado. Let's see what he can do. Is he, he's a lap down, is that correct?
Which driver are you referring to? The 22 of Gormley? Yes, he is.
Yeah, he is 22. Yeah, I couldn't see the number at the moment. Yeah, he's a lap down, but he's somehow keeping pace here with the lead trucks. Now, Gormley, he's 2 laps down right now. So, I mean, keeping this, well, if there's a yellow to fly, if he does lead the lane on the top, that'll eliminate 1 wave around that he'd have to take. So he's fighting for everything he can to get that truck in front of the 21 right now.
Right now, Tyler King in the lead. Dennis Moore to 2nd, Ryan Bloom 3rd. Then it's going to be Kevin Smith, Stephen O'Hare, your top 5. Dan West Jr., Roy Grande. Now West will get passed by Grande for that spot. Sam Carrillo will move up to 8th now. 9th will be Sean Brightsman. Brian Barnes is also the top 10. That's the way it stands as we're closing in on 34 laps to go when they come to the line. This time by, gotta think, last time a lot of drivers pitted was around lap 21. Jeremy, do you think the green flag pit stop window will be opening here in the next 10 laps, you think?
I say if you can extend it to lap 50, run it. So do 4 more laps if you got it, and then you're set to go for 1 more pit stop if it stays green the rest of the way. That'll be a good split there, give you 30 laps to run it to the end. With 100% fuel cell, you can definitely do 30 laps. And that's what I'm expecting here. If they can take it 4 more laps, we'll probably see the pit road window open for a lot of drivers when it hits the lap 50 or 51.
Tyler King on the inside. He'll make the run. On the bottom. He's on the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes now O'Hare back up top. There's Moore. There, of course, is again that driver 2 laps down, Ryan Gormley. 2nd of the point standing, 7 points back behind Sean Brightsman. But he's right there in this stranglehold with the leaders. This just shows you, Jeremy, just how good his truck is. If he wouldn't have got caught up in that fiasco earlier or lost ground because of it, he would probably be right there in contention to race with these guys. Oh, and by the way, if the 22 can pass these drivers, it only puts him 1 lap down. He gets a lap back.
Yeah, that'll eliminate 1 whole entire wave around, right? Which is huge for a race that's only seen 1 caution flag and almost 50 laps in total here. So he needs it. He is desperate to get around these guys and lead this event as much as he can, at least in the pack, that is, to have that only 1 wave around attempt, being 2 laps down at the moment here. There's the 41, Stephen O'Hare. He's going to lead the lap finally here on lap 48, entering 49. Turn 1 and 2 here, just not enough numbers to help Mr. Gormley. But yeah, you said it, like, if that truck was for the actual lead here, it shows you how strong that truck is, only 3 on the top.
Yeah, Paddles on the outside lane. He's now powered back up in front of the leaders again. Ryan Gormley is now trying to get back just 1 lap down. Oh, and by the way, it would be Gormley and Stabnow that are multiple laps down. So Ryan Gormley is now going to be 1 lap down, but now he goes back to 2 laps down. If he could at least, oh, but here comes green flag pit stops, and it looks like Win Racing all together coming down pit road.
Oh, contact, I think. Yep,
we got a wreck in the pits.
17, 72 possibly. I couldn't see there. Maybe the 07, Dana Rogers. I think he was one of the ones. There he is.
Yep.
Yep, 07. He's around. contact, just too many drivers 2-3 wide right at the entrance.
This incident happened, though, in the pit area, so therefore no caution. There's Win Racing, and then there's Dana Rogers right in front of Roy Grande, and the 07 spun. Here's a look at it again where they're all coming down pit road, Jeremy. Look at this on the binders. Oh, he locked him up. Oh, and he got into Ryan Bloom, too.
Yeah, a little contact to the right rear. Ryan Bloom, a little too hot entering pit road. Oh! What is this? Heavy contact. Oh, there's more trucks spinning out here. 2 laps back-to-back having issues. There's the 81 around.
Sam Carrillo, as well as the Catman James Vining. Here's a replay of what happened to them as they come down the pit lane. He just locked the wheels up. He couldn't get on the brakes in time coming to pit road, and neither could Sam Carrillo.
Oh, he drove through, man. He got so lucky, the 58. Oh, my gosh. Stephen Paulison counting his blessings to the iRacing Lords right now for letting him drive through. But, yeah, he got contact. He got assisted. Okay, that explains it. That was such a hard impact.
All this happening, entering pit road with under 30 laps to go. We are still under green flag conditions, by the way. Here's another look at it one more time. This is with Tendrick. And more drivers are pitting now. This is actually live now. My apologies. I thought it was showing another replay. Tendrick and Stabnow and Tendrick and Kynes. Daggett, they're all pitting now. They're all on pit road. And we were mentioning Jeremy Ryan Gormley, and here was the deal. Him and Stabnow were multiple laps down, and Tendrick spins entering into pit road.
This is the most chaotic pit sequence of 3 laps consecutive I've ever seen at a super speedway. These guys are just all over pit road.
There you see Jeff Stabnow back off on the racetrack, still multiple laps down in the pits. 2 laps down, I meant. Ryan Gormley is 1 lap down. Now Dana Rogers is a lap down. Under 30 laps to go. Green flag pit stop now. O'Hare and King is right now 3rd and 4th. Dan West Jr., Sean Brightsman up in front. Team LSRTV. And then Beaver State Racing right now, 3rd and 4th. Look at this going on in the corner. We can hear everything you're saying, Charles. As they work their way back into the corner. O'Hare, King, 1 and 2. West and Brightsman, look at them now, single file as they work through the tri-oval. This just shows you, Jeremy, how good these trucks are, especially ones that have pitted, because West and Brightsman haven't yet. Look at how quick the 41 and the 21 have hooked up with each other, and they fly by the leaders.
Great teamwork here for the top 2, and that was my question after that 3rd lap of pit stops, was how spaced out this entire field would be. You got your top 7 all within a half a second. You see them on your screen right now. 5 seconds back is 8th and 9th, and then 13 and a half back is 10th, 14th. So really gapped with all the chaos that just ensued a couple laps ago on this green flag round of pit stops, which that will be the last pit stop of the evening if we stay green the rest of the way. So right now, these top 7 trucks, any one of these 7 can win this race right now if we go green the rest of the way. Everybody else is just scrambling to stay where they're at, and maybe if they get enough trucks single file, but I don't see it because right now your top 7 staying single file. 41, 21 doing a hell of a job staying bumper to bumper here on the back straightaway.
O'Hare in the lead, King in 2nd. This is Beaver State Racing now. Another team that is hooked up and battling with Team LSRTV and Win Racing. And look at them right there. 2 drivers for Beaver State, 2 drivers for Team LSRTV, 2 drivers for Win Racing. And they now move by Barnes, and other drivers are slow traffic on the outside lane. And was that the money stop on lap 50? I think we'd have to still go at least with about 10 laps to go if we still stay on a green flag for another pit stop. What do you think, Jeremy?
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of people that had issues. So if you hit that pit stop cleanly and you got with your partners, that's the money stop, and they did it well. And you can see who did it well. Not your top 7. Everybody else having some kind of issues. And so they're praying for that caution. But these guys on your screen right now did the best on pit road. Clear as day there. But do you have your friends? There's only 7 trucks here. There's some people that are solo. There's some people like the top 2, O'Hare and King, who you know for sure are going to work together to the very end. So how do you break yourself away from the 41 and 21? That's basically my question right now.
O'Hare in the lead. King, that's Team LSR. That's Team Beaver State Racing. Team LSRTV with Weston Brightsman 3rd and 4th. Win Racing now with 3 drivers, including Dennis Moore, Ryan Bloom, Kevin Smith, Kynes, Tindrick, and Paulison, all there right now in the top 10 as green flag pit stops have concluded. They have scattered everybody in 4 different packs around the racetrack. This group passing start finish. Another pack working into the tribal midway. Another pack is working off of turn number 4. And then, of course, there are another ones about 2 or 3 working into turn 3 around the racetrack on lap number 56. A quick break. If something happens, we'll break in. We're back with coverage of iRacing on LSRTV and CRN from Talladega with the Northwest Racing Series.
Years of speed, 10 years of stories. For the past 10 years, we've been more than just spectators. We've been the heartbeat of local racing, growing alongside the tracks, drivers, and fans who make it all possible. From the dusty turns to the checkered flags, we've shared every triumph and every challenge, making memories that last a lifetime. As we mark this milestone, we're not just looking back, we're revving up for the future. We are expanding, bringing you even more racing, more coverage, and more ways to connect with the adrenaline-fueled world we love. Our commitment to the local racing community is unwavering, and the next chapter promises to be our most exciting yet.
Come on.
It's got to be 12 o'clock, right? So that means it's beer time.
Gather around, people, but a little sideshow about the dinosaurs here.
This is one hell of a roll cage.
Come 9,000 miles to wreck each other.
Now, I don't have Hobo Stab insurance. Funny idea at first that somehow we're sitting here in Australia with a couple of wrecked race cars, drinking beer and laughing about it.
Like this?
Are they edible?
I think I f***ed up.
You haven't missed a thing. We're closing in on 20 laps to go when O'Hare comes to the line. Here's a look finally at the Virginia811.com race summary. And that's what I wanted to hit it on, Jeremy. One caution lap, obviously. And then there's been 23 lead changes in this race, and I don't think we're done making lead changes just yet now.
Nope, I don't think we're done. But I also think we're not going to see one for the next 10 laps. The way the 41 and the 21, O'Hare and King, are running right now, nose to tail, it's going to be tough to separate those two from the bottom. I don't think they're going back to the top at all unless they have to. As we kind of cycle through some of the other trucks, here's the 58 on your screen, Stephen Paulison. He's in 10th place. He's leading the charge here with these 4 trucks in total, all by them lonesomes. And they're 18 seconds back of the race lead. You see the second pack in front of them. They're up there. Actually, your main pack, rather. So they got a lot of travel to do to get back to where they are. But 20 laps, the way they're running, there's just no way you're going to get to these top 7 right now.
Yeah, we kind of mentioned that there was a breaking of 4 packs when we came to timeout for network commercials. Then we literally can tell you now that there are 6 different packs of trucks. The biggest pack, obviously, is the leaders, and that works their way to the back straightaway right there as we're watching them fire their way from the Alabama Gang super stretch into turn number 3. And there is, of course, Beaver State, LSRTV, Win Racing, all in line. Somebody eventually is going to have to break out of line here. But I'll be honest with you, I got a feeling, too, we might see pit stops again here within the next 10 laps. Or will somebody go for an undercut on these drivers, Jeremy Stanley?
Do you think they can go or not go 30 laps on the tank? I just assumed that they could do it, but I don't know. I thought they were done, but if you...
They pitted, at lap 20? And then they pitted again on lap 50, so... Hell, maybe so. Maybe so. Yeah, you're right. Unless we get a caution. If we get a caution, then you're obviously going to see everybody come down pit road. So,
yeah, I mean, it could be like 28 laps, and if that's the case, like they're on the bubble. Of course, if there's an overtime, they're not going to make it, right? So, that could play a factor. Super speed racing, last couple laps, you have a greater than 50% chance of having one for an overtime situation, especially if you're NASCAR, right? Some guy just scrapes the wall and loses 10-mile-an-hour speed. They're like, you got to put it out. So, things could happen late in the going here.
Lap 20 and 21 was when drivers pitted the first go-around for pit stops. And then pit lap was around 49, 50, and 51. Primarily, it was lap 51 for a lot of drivers that pit. So we're thinking they could go the distance. But in doing so, this has totally spread out the entire pack around this racetrack, no doubt, as they work into turn 3.
Yeah, it's just the question, other than who's going to separate the 41 and 21, is who tries it first? Does Dan West jump out early? Does he bring Sean with him? Do you think they're talking to each other, either in-game chat or maybe over through DMs in the game?
Yeah.
There's got to be some type of storm or brewing, and it's just who's talking to who and who wants to make the jump first.
No doubt communication is paramount to determine how it will turn out here with these drivers as they get another lap. Works on down the back straightaway. Look at now Stephen O'Hare. There's some more trucks up ahead, obviously. Slow machines, a lap down, multiple laps down. By the way, Brian Barnes is right there in that pack, and the reason why, if you will, Jeremy, he is the first truck 1 lap down in the back of that pack. If the caution were to come out, Brian Barnes would get the free pass. As you see these guys work around in packs, there's Paulison and Grande. Some of the other action going on around the racetrack right now.
One thing to touch up on as far as the point situation goes, remember 16th place, Frank Harris. 17th place, the first truck outside the bubble is Roy Grande. Right, so Frank's got that advantage. But in this race right now, Roy Grande on the lead, lap in 11th. Frank Harris in 20th, 3 laps down. And this points gap is a 15-point gap difference between the two. So this is going to bring them buttoned up, basically tied, if not only a 1 or 2 point swing difference at the end of this thing if they finish where they're at right now. So, this is a playoff real chance here with Frank and Roy. Who's going to get that spot there at 16th?
Under 15 laps to go. There you see the leaders working their way off the banking. 33 degrees of banking into turn number 1 and 2, 32 degrees into 1 and 2, 33 degrees into 3 and 4. Talladega Super Speedway, very definitely different in all comparisons around the track. And O'Hare, and you got to think also, Jeremy, we're closing in on, the finish. When will Tyler King break out of line and leave his teammate O'Hare hanging? Will he do that?
I say if you get the outside to poke the nose out with 2 laps to go, you leave your teammate. If it's 3 or more laps, you kind of want to hang tight. But at the same token, you're just here to win. You worked with your teammate for this long. And so, I don't know. I guess you just do it as you feel at the seat. If you feel like the momentum's going to be to the top and you can slingshot your teammate and the dip right below him, take that spot away, then do it. I mean, you did great so far up to this point. So I guess it just depends on what they're talking about and if they owe any favors or whatnot. But I honestly, it's going to be a team call at the end of the day.
Well, let me enlighten you and our audience as we come to the line with a dozen laps to go. Tyler King, who is in second for Beaver State Racing, has already got wins this year, including 2. Stephen O'Hare is outside the top 20 in the points. He has enough starts, 14 tonight, counting this one at Talladega, but he doesn't have a win. If Stephen O'Hare was able to win this race, a number 21 seed in the points would move in to the playoffs, and you got to think Tyler King's already got a win. He's already got into the championship 16. He might be helping O'Hare win this race, I think, Jeremy.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely move him in, right? So, yeah, I could definitely see that being a thing. Maybe they just stick together to the very end. That's a solid point that you bring up there. So, that would bring him, currently outside in 21st place, all of a sudden into the playoffs, which that bumps out Frank Harris regardless. And actually Toby Ritters has a win, so that'll bump out even Steven Paulison, who's 15th in points. That's going to bump him out if they keep O'Hare at the front here to the end of the race.
They'll be coming at 10 laps to go this time by. It is O'Hare the leader. It is King in second. There you see that's the Beaver State Racing teammates. Then you've got Team LSRTV in tow. Right there, single file. It is a conga line as they thunder off of turn 4 into the tri-oval. Nobody is jumping out of line. They all play possum, locked to the bottom of the double yellow line. To the stripe, 70 laps down and 10 laps to go here at Talladega. Friends will become foes. It's a matter of not if, but when here, Jeremy, as they go into 1.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. The top 2 are going to stay single file. I'm expecting Dan and Sean here to make a move to the top. Not now. Either someone in the back about 5th or 6th is going to jump out of line. They're going to register that and then take the jump. Or they stay single file. They wait just for a few laps to go before they make that charge. It's going to be up to these guys. They're spacing out a little bit here. Top 5, slight breakaway. Not sure if the back 3 are just trying to cool off the trucks for a potential tandem event here at the very end. They're giving each other about 5 truck lengths momentarily, but staying single file now. 9 laps to go.
And single digits as well as they remain single file. Jeremy up pardon the pun as they climb the banking again into turn number 1 and 2. And when I say by climb the banking, they're in the banking of the racetrack, but they're still committed to the bottom of the double yellow line on the inside. No one is jumping out of line. You see all of these trucks in tow, one behind the other. And again, as I mentioned, Brian Barnes, the first truck a lap down. If a caution was to come out and he didn't get caught up in it, Jeremy, he would go back to the lead lap because he's right there with the leaders in the back.
Still stays single file here. Very, very casual single file. Just waiting for the end, man. That's what we're doing. This is the eye before the storm.
Jeremy, when do you jump out of line? When do you jump out of line, Jeremy? If you're one of these guys here, when do you jump out of line? We're watching this battle here in the back of the pack with Grande and Tidrick and others, but if you're them front runners in those first 9 trucks, besides counting the truck a lap down to Barnes, when do you jump out of line? When do you do something aggressive to try to get the win?
I say 2 laps to go. I say that's your number. Can't go too early. Definitely can't go too late. I think 2 laps is plenty of time to make that jump. But man, this is a storm right here. I didn't realize how grouped up this second pack was. 16 and a half back of the race lead. They said, forget about it. We're in our own zip code. We're going to do our own thing, have our own battle here. 58 Paulison leading the charge on the inside on this one here. 6 trucks on the bottom, but look at them. They're all over the place. They're not holding a steady line.
This is for 8th place, as you mentioned, Jeremy, with Paulison, Grande, of course, Kynes. Remember Kynes and Harris. That's something important we need to remember, too. If they can be able to have solid finishes, Kynes and Harris would go into the top 16. But obviously, Jeremy, if you bring in somebody on the outside like Stephen O'Hare into the playoffs from number 22, it might bump one of these drivers out of making the playoffs now.
Yeah, like I said, if O'Hare wins it, this is going to bump Steven Paulison out. It's going to bump Frank Harris out, with Toby Ritters being in 18th with a race win. So Paulison has to do everything he can. He's got Brett Johnson in front of him, and actually with Johnson not here, that actually might bump Johnson out of the thing. He doesn't have a win either. So the way Steven's running, he's doing everything he can. We see a lot of smoke here on the front straight. I don't know if that was a pit stop.
Yeah, Chase Carrillo just went off racetrack, guys. Chase Carrillo just went off the track, and we still stay green.
That was that caution these guys needed.
And they couldn't get it. You're watching this great racing going on in the back for 8th position in the top 10. Meanwhile, the front runners are still staying single file. Boy, I got a feeling something could go wrong here. One wrong turn, one wrong move, and we're going to have calamity. This might be what draws the caution. But right now, these guys are still staying in line. Working off the corner on 4. It is O'Hare, the leader. King, West, Breitzman, Moore, Bloom, Smith. They're all on the lead lap. 5 to go. And look at this now as they catch him again going in the corner. By the way, Jeremy, that second pack that we were bragging about, talking about Paulison and Moore, Chris Kynes, I think, just got in front of Paulison too, by the way. 15, 16 seconds back to the front runners now, storming into turn 3.
Yeah, they're still hashing it
Caution!
out.
Caution's out!
No way.
Yellow flag waves! Whoa!
That's
Trouble,
the second
there's
pack.
the pack! You're exactly right. There's that second pack you were referring to, and it's all come unglued here on the back straightaway. Roy Grande, Chris Kynes has crashed. Todd Miles, Roy Grande, I mentioned again, Jeff Stabnow, Troy Daggett, all the drivers involved. And this changes everything, Jeremy Stanley.
Yeah, this certainly does. Oh,
Whoa!
one truck hooked. The 88 gets hooked hard. You see everybody else just filing into the inside wall here. 5, 6, 7 trucks. 62, 88, 24. Stabnow, I think he's found every single wreck at this point.
Yep. Yeah, man. What a tough break. We saw Tyler Kim. There's a look at it again. A multi-truck accident on the back straightaway. In that second pack, and remember what we talked about, the 88 machine, Chris Kynes, he had to do something to make a desperate move, and this was there where it all come unglued right here. Look at the 88, got turned into Paulison, into Grande. And they weren't done crashing from there. Look at Dana Rogers, Todd Miles, Stephen Paulison, Tyler Kim, all wrecked on the back straightaway. Wow.
Heavy contact and quite a few trucks. Roy Grande, great night.
No more now. Ollie raced. And this was just when Sean Breitzman stuck his nose out. I thought maybe that was the move that was going to start it. But then he had to back it down real quick as the yellow flag flew. And this is going to set up overtime. Now, fuel Wesley. Can they make the overtime now? I know they can make the 30 laps under green. Can they go the extra distance?
Do you pit? Do you pit? Are we going to see anybody pit? That's the question. And we are seeing drivers pit. Yes, we are. Almost everybody behind the top 5, top 6 have pitted. By the way, Ryan Barnes, former Northwest Cup Series champion in the number 4, back on the lead lap. Brian Barnes is back on the lead lap. Boy, oh boy, this is getting crazy. We're setting ourselves up for overtime, and we will give you all the details on that coming up. Ross, at the top of the hour. We'll pause very quickly for network identification on the Community Radio Network, and this is iRacing on LSRTV. Overtime on deck coming up.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Come on.
It's got to be 12 o'clock, right? So that means it's beer time.
Gather round, people, for that little sideshow about the dinosaurs here.
This is one hell of a roll cage.
Come 9,000 miles to wreck each other.
Now, I don't have Hobo 7 insurance. Funny idea at first that somehow we're sitting here in Australia with a couple of wrecked race cars, drinking beer and laughing about it.
Like this? Are they edible? I think I f***ed up.
We're going to send Charles to Texas for it, so to Charles to Australia as well, right? Well, getting ready for the restart. It's overtime. Free racing, as we call it here at Talladega Super Speedway. Don't forget the playoffs begin next week. Top 16 make it in. And obviously, I think that's a story that I really was thinking about, Jeremy, that might be really coming to fruition. You got Tyler King. He's got multiple wins this year. He might be trying to push to 41 to victory here. He might be literally helping him get it into the playoffs. And, you know, I understand that old cliche, white flag, every man for himself. But if you're a teammate and you've done your job throughout the season and you got a guy on the cusp of being on the outside to make it in, we've seen this before. Sometimes you put that ego aside, if you will, Jeremy, and you help your fellow man. I think we're seeing that with these Beaver Stakes teammates up front.
Yeah, no, that's the plan. I love that call. I think that's going to be what it is. So right now they're going to start first and second, and what you're probably going to see is a time thing where they're going to count each other down, and they're going to hope that Tyler King can drop below in between him and Dan West on the inside. That'll confirm that. Or do you have the 21 Tyler King stay on the top, control that outside lane, maybe slow it down a little bit to give that 41 a little bit of breathing room? We're going to find out here as we're going to have our first overtime attempt.
And there will be a chance of 3 if need be. Remember, if they come to the CRN 1 to go, the white flag will wave. The race is official. If not, then we'll come back and we'll reset again. There's only been 2 cautions. This sets up overtime. Green, white, checker, O'Hare on the bottom in the Geico restart zone. Gets the restart of his iRacing Northwest life. O'Hare pulls away. He'll get the whole shot. West on the bottom. Here comes King. He's going to try to...
No help there on the top. It's going to allow Dan West to have a great run. Try to squeeze. Ooh, here we go. Dan West.
Desperation.
Yep, him and the 44, Dennis Moore. They're going to have a lap down truck on the top. All over the map.
Oh, there he
no!
goes. O'Hare crashes bottom of the racetrack. He stays to the bottom of the apron. Nobody has climbed up and he climbs the banking. Anybody around? No, they are not. We're going to come to the white flag unless they crash before we get there, Jeremy.
Stephen O'Hare out of the playoff contention for sure. Coming to the white flag. Who's going to make some more crazy moves? 3 wide at the line. Ryan Bloom has got it for the white flag.
The white flag in the air. It's the CRN 1 to go. More details at wearecrn.com. Returning with only iRacing, including football back again. Volleyball and soccer, all on the Community Radio Network. Back straight away now. 3 wide, 4 wide for the win is now Kevin Smith. Darts up in front in the middle. He goes to the bottom lane. Can he hold him off as they go into 3?
Sean Breitzman committed to Dan West on turn 3 entrance. They go back single file almost entirely. Kevin Smith to the outside. Gonna get side draft. Gets checked up a little bit. Don't think he's gonna have the momentum here. Dan West looking to take the checker flags.
I don't think he can get it done. Breitzman hooks horns with Kevin Smith. Dan West Jr. takes the checkered flag. 3 wide almost across the line with Roy Grande to the bottom of the apron. It looks like it's going to be Kevin Smith scored second, followed by Sean Breitzman third. Roy Grande will be scored fourth when the checkered flag fell. In the race ends, Dan West Jr. picks up the win. It'll be his second win this year in the Northwest Racing Series, as the driver did win earlier in the year. Here is a look at the finish. And the driver that won back in April at Vegas has now won the finale at Talladega. Look at this crazy finish at the line here, Jeremy. Wow.
1/100th of a second separated second and third place there. Sean committed to Dan West all the way to the very end, and it gave him the great opportunity to get down to the bottom. They're 4 wide, as you said, on the back straightaway. Not sure how it quickly went single file into turn 3, but at the end of the day, that's going to help Mr. West Jr. collect that second checkered flag here this evening. Excellent race there to the end here. Overtime put on a great show for everyone that came out tonight.
Don't count out Dan West Jr. By the way, career start number 294 tonight. And for Dan West Jr., this will be his 47th career win to go on with 158 top 5s and 224 top 10s. And now the Northwest high five salute as Win Racing's Kevin Smith comes in and bonsais him with a T-bone. What a race it was indeed at the end. And how about Sean Breitzman, Jeremy? Remember the problems the 46 had at the beginning. Somehow he raced his way and got right back into the podium spot. Or at least third.
Yeah, he got the podium, P3 there. Excellent job to get it done at the very end. Sean, of course, points leader, knows how to be there at the end of these races, including the super speedways. Able to make it happen here as he cycles through one last time.
There's Sean Breitzman storming through the Tri-Oval now, looking for his winner, Dan West Jr. He's trying to find him. Where are you? Here, kitty, kitty. I try to find you. I don't. Oh, there he is. Oh, look at the pirouettes and flipping like a top for Dan West Jr. And there's the kill shot, if you will. Teammate to teammate. That's a teammate right there, Jeremy Stanley.
Friendly fire turned on there at the very end for the last and the biggest hit of them all.
Here is a look at the results of tonight's round 19 of the Insurance Claims 212. And pardon the pun, there will be a lot of iRacing insurance claims filed after tonight, even after the high five salute. Dan West Jr. gets his win, second win of the year. After winning Vegas back in April, he wins tonight. Kevin Smith will settle for second. Sean Breitzman will be third. Roy Grande fourth. Those drivers were 3 wide coming across the line for the bridesmaid spot. Dennis Moore rounds out the top 5. Tyler King, Ryan Bloom, Paul Newton, Chris Kynes. Even after crashing, Jeremy, he gets back in the top 10 and 9th, and Stephen Paulus.
11th on back, BJ Tidrick. 12th place, Todd Miles. 13th, Brian Barnes. 14th, Ryan Gormley. 15th, Stephen O'Hare after that. Second to last lap, collision to the inside wall. 16th, Chase Carrillo. 17th, Frank Harris. Tyler Kim in 18th. Dana Rogers finishes in 19th. Jeff Stabnow finishes 7 laps down in 20th. 21st, Christopher White. 22nd, John Ottenbacher. 23rd, Troy Daggett. 24th, James Vining. 25th, Scott Hutchison. 26th, Rob Gamble Jr. Carl Burke. 27th, Ron Hunter. 28th, and Kenneth Garber rounds out the next 29 truck lineup.
Yeah, Kenneth Garber and Ron Hunter did not start the race. As, of course, when it's all said and done, there's the results. Let's take one more time a look at the Virginia811.com race summary. And there it is. 2 cautions, 6 caution laps, 25 lead changes. The last time we had checked it, with about 20 laps to go, there was only 23. And when it's all said and done, that last lead change counted the most at the line. It is the driver, Dan West Jr., waited patiently. It looked like on a restart that happened with overtime, Tyler King, just the tires were gone, the handling was gone, something was gone. O'Hare lost his teammate, and when that changed everything coming to the finish, Dan West Jr. picks up the win. Coming up, we're going to grab the podium, and we'll get you ready for the playoffs as it starts next week for the round of 16 at Phoenix. Don't go anywhere. This is iRacing on LSRTV and CRN. Dan West Jr. wins here at Talladega. Welcome back to Talladega as the round 19 has concluded for the regular season, and it looks like we will unveil the 16 drivers that will go to the playoffs when the bracket's set in just a moment. Right now, let's do our post-race interviews, and let's join the winner of the race, obviously, Dan West Jr. Dan, you've not won since April. That was back at Vegas. Your take of tonight at Talladega, and obviously on the third Northwest Truck Series Championship, if you can get this done here at the end of the rainbow for the playoffs. Congratulations.
Thanks, Wesley. It was kind of an uneventful, I feel like, race. That caution, just before that caution came out, we had, I think there was 3 teams there sitting lined up, just kind of strategizing and kind of rolling along there, keeping our trucks cool to the end of that run, and kind of we were just trying to figure out what we're going to do there, right? I mean, just do we pull out now? Do we pull out with 1 to go? And then unfortunately that caution come out, so that kind of stacked us all up and then put teammates side by side. So it did get a little interesting.
Yeah, this is Jeremy here, and before the caution came out there, I was really curious and I was questioning when the move was going to happen. You were sitting there 3rd place behind teammates Stephen O'Hare and Tyler King. When were you planning to make the move there if the caution was not fly there with 5 laps to go?
I think we're talking possibly 1 to go, probably that white flag lap. I mean, any of the teams could have pulled out at any time prior to that, right? But the problem is once you show your hand and step out there, you're probably not going to be the one that wins the race. So you just don't know until you're in the moment. But I think we were looking at 1 to go.
I want to segue this into thanking your sponsors as well, Dan. Before the overtime happened with the overtime caution, or the caution at the end is set up for overtime, there was a time where Beaver State Racing, Team LSRTV, Win Racing, all in the pack, at least 2 drivers right there, single file, nose to tail. Nobody's jumping out of line. What was going through your mind there while all this was happening? I mean, was it pretty much just the strategic thing to do is tuck in line and just stay and wait for the right move? Or, what's the strategy watching all this unfold?
Well, as you can see, we were all thinking the same thing. Let's just take care of our stuff. And we had, I think, a 10-second gap on that second group. And so we're just all rolling around there, keeping our stuff cool and taking care of it and trying to get to that 1-2 to go right before you get racy. So, you end up talking to your teammates, keep yourself awake, foot's going numb. You're just kind of rolling and taking care of your stuff.
Well, buddy, before we let you go, thank your sponsors, and obviously good luck in the playoffs beginning next week in Phoenix, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Wesley. I got to definitely put a shout out to the team. Jeff built a pretty good setup here that obviously was very competitive. Thanks to Sean for sticking with me. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have won that. It was just it's just a team race, team effort, right? I mean, you're not gonna win that race without a teammate. So, unfortunately, I think we just got lucky and was able to line up in the right spot. So I appreciate it. Thank you, LSRTV, Effective Web Solutions, and all the guys up in the booth. Thank you.
There you go. There's, of course, Dan West Jr., career win number 78. And in addition to that, on the road to 300 career starts in the Northwest Racing Series, he picks up his second win this year. And, of course, tonight here at Talladega, joining the win at Vegas. Let's go down to the runner-up of the event. And second spot will go to Win Racing driver Kevin Smith. Kevin, you're doing what you need to do, I think, team-wise, to put yourselves in a battle for a championship run. You're in the championship 16. I can at least unveil that to you. But obviously, what's your take of how things unfolded here at Talladega? And are you happy with second, sir?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you come out of this race with a podium, it's so much luck. You try to do the right things. I mean, our team has been in position last few races with some solid leads, and stuff happens, cautions and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy with second. It was fun there for the last few laps. I think Dan was right. Sean was helping Dan. I didn't have any help, so was able to kind of pull Sean back here a little bit to get second. But just fun racing. Love coming to these tracks with no expectations, and we just see where the chips fall.
Yeah, watching the race, I knew the guys that were locked in were just going to have a fun time out there, and you had a 4/1000th of a second separation between you and Sean there. How was the truck stealing out there? At one point, being the race, it was really calm, and then after the pit stops happened, everyone was just shifting lanes left and right going. We couldn't figure out what the idea was, whether it was just handling or just you guys mixing it up and having some fun out there. So what was the middle of the race there? Was the trucks handling well overall?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just fun. I mean, our truck handled great. Ryan and Dennis put just incredible sets together. It was a fun truck to drive. It could go anywhere. I got a little bit of damage from one of the wrecks early after that first pit stop. Fell back to 15th or 16th and was in a couple rows, a couple laps. It drove great. We're always fast here. My Win Racing teammates just put together fast stuff. Yeah, so for us, that truck handled great. I took tires. I don't know if that mattered a bunch. They're from 7th position. Maybe that helped me a little bit getting up through there. But no, truck handled great. And I think for a lot of us, it was just fun. We just come here, especially those of us who are locked in, just come in and just have a good time. Not use people up, but just have fun.
Kevin Smith, final question. Thank your sponsors in Segway as well. Do you feel like this could be the year that Win Racing could lock up a championship with these great talented guys you got?
Yeah, I mean, Dennis and Ryan are great. They always do such a good job. I know Ryan's struggling a little bit. He's having he had a carpal tunnel surgery last week. He's got another one, so he's driving with bum hands. I think once he gets healed up a little bit, he'll be good. But Dennis is incredible. He's always super fast. So yeah, and then I look at last 4 races, I've had 2 seconds and a first. So I feel like maybe I'm kind of getting my head right. putting some things together. So yeah, I think we're going to bring fast sets. I think we're going to be prepared, and I think it's going to be a tough battle with these guys in the playoffs. Just really looking forward to it. As far as sponsors, obviously Click It RV. They're on our trucks, and they just do a lot to support us. If anybody's in the market for a motorhome or travel trailer or fifth wheel toy hauler, that sort of thing, we'd love to be able to help you. So just let us know. Or if you need help selling your rig, we do that too. And then just my teammates, again, Win Racing, Dennis and Ryan are just fantastic teammates. They've put in so much work to be able to come out here and show our stuff. And I want to thank you guys at LSRTV. These broadcasts are fantastic. And the league, Sean and Jeff just do such a great job at this league. It's just so much fun to come in here, drop in, and race with these guys. It's such great competition. So, again, thank you.
Kevin Smith wraps up his 210th career start tonight at, of course, Talladega Superspeedway, looking for career win number 10. He has 9 wins along with 42 top 5s and 87 top 10s for the driver, of course, from Walla Walla, Washington. Kevin Smith for Win Racing will finish in second. That's grab third place. Sean Brightsman, he will finish as the regular season points champion and on to the playoffs on the points reset as P1. Sean, you had some hiccups at the start of this race. Somehow you found a way to redeem yourself, get back in the hunt, and boy, you're there making some noise at the end. Your take of this race and making a run towards another championship. I think it'll be your first truck title, as you have been a multi-time or at least a Cup Series champion of the past.
Yeah, overall race was pretty good, Wesley. Not too eventful, which is nice, at least from my perspective. But overall, great race. Great racing with the teammates. Great racing the other hardworking Northwest Racing Series members as well. So overall, great race. Happy for Dan. Glad he got a win. Glad our team got the win there. So we worked pretty hard to get that positioned right. So
congratulations on the third place there. Yeah. Taking it back to the final lap there, you moved down with Dan into turn 3. Was there ever in your mind of not doing that and maybe contending for the race win, or were you just stuck to the back of the 55 to the checker flag?
I was stuck to the 55. If there was a C parting that would have worked perfectly, or if we got separated, I would have been fighting for myself. But I wanted one of us two to win, and if I could help Dan to get that win, then so be it.
Sean, we kind of mentioned drivers that are already going to be in the round of 16. Yourself, Stabnow, Dan West Jr., obviously, who ended up winning. But we saw kind of a scenario where it looked like it was kind of to come to fruition, where Tyler King was helping Stephen O'Hare possibly try to get the win before the incidents happened, before he hicked up on the last restart there and kind of fell back. But in doing so, you've been in those scenarios before for Team LSRTV. Does that make y'all race differently? Does that make you run differently with your competition or even your teammates when you're trying to help somebody try to get into the playoff spot?
Maybe a little. I mean, honestly, when Stefan, I bumped Stefan at one point, and it looked like it just jarred him loose and kind of moved around, and we kind of sent him off to the infield. I was going to be kind of stuck with him at that one point. So it could have very well came to fruition that, Stefan would have won the race. So you do race differently, trying to help your teammates get in, because you want as many of your team members in the playoffs as possible. But you still gotta make it work and not just wreck everybody or anything like that. So.
Well, Sean, before we let you go, man, thank your sponsors. And obviously, what does it mean to be the regular season points champion and obviously be the guy that's in the P1 spot going into the playoffs beginning at Phoenix next week, sir?
Well, I won't be P1. Devin West got 4 wins, so I'll be tied for probably P2 with looks like 6 other drivers or so.
That's right. My apologies. Yeah, it hasn't updated yet. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. But I'm just happy to fight for the championship, right? Or at least into the playoffs, right? I can't say a championship yet because it's not the round of the championship. So I'm just happy to be in the playoffs. I'm going to miss next week at Phoenix. So
oh wow,
I'll have some work to do the next 2 or 3 whatever races it is in the round. So I'm going to be digging a hole and hopefully grabbing dirt from somewhere else and filling that hole come in a couple weeks. So it'll be an interesting playoff. Look forward to everything that everybody works forward to or works hard to gain from the playoff system and going for a championship. So a lot of heartbreak, a lot of excitement. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, there you go. Sponsors.
Everybody at Team LSRTV, all you broadcasters at LSRTV, producers, Charles, Wesley, Jeremy, thanks for joining in. And then just got to thank my wife and everybody that comes out and races with us. Thank you, guys.
There you go. There you go. For Sean Brightsman, he will win the regular season championship by 1 point over Tyler King. Sean Brightsman in career start number 412 tonight. 77 wins, 229 top 5s, and 298 on the road to 300 top 10s for Sean Brightsman when it's all said and done. Jeremy, so again, I want to emphasize on this, the way that I don't even think we need to mention it because the way the point standings are, it might not be correctly the 16 drivers that are in, but what we can tell you is that Devin West will be the number 1 seed when the points reset because it is most wins added on, of course, and it is 4 wins for Devin West, the defending champion of last year, Jeremy. We can officially tell you will be the number 1 seed moving into the round of 16 as we close Talladega, my friend, and get ready for Phoenix next week. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, first seed obviously is going to be locked in there. The rest of it will file in, and we'll keep up to date on that and let you know that complete point breakdown next week at Phoenix. And man, what a race to close it out. Huge heartbreak for Stefan O'Hare to almost have it. 5 laps to go. Looked like he was in charge of getting in there and just not going to happen for him. So great race overall tonight, though. Had a little bit of everything. Trucks flipped. Had some single file. Had some 3 to 4 wide. So great way to close out the regular season. Playoffs, baby, next week. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do here at Phoenix.
It certainly will be a fun one for sure. I can tell you right now, unofficially, the top 16 of the regular season, including drivers Sean Brightsman, Tyler King, Dan West Jr., Ryan Gormley, Dennis Moore, top 5, Devin West, 6. But again, he'll move to the number 1 spot because he has the most wins of anybody in the playoffs. Reset, obviously, the point standings. Kevin Smith, Paul Newton, Brian Barnes, Ryan Bloom, top 10. Jeff Stabnow, Troy Daggett, Christopher White, Roy Grande, Brett Johnson, Stephen Paulison would be that final 16th spot. But again, there might be some things that shake or fluctuate or change what those 16 drivers will be. So I can tell you, I'm going to be intently waiting to see it update to see who it will be. But I can tell you is drivers like Brightsman, King, West, obviously, Gormley, Moore, West, Devin West, Kevin Smith, Bloom, Stabnow, they're automatically, Jeremy, going to be in the playoffs because they've got to win or more. Everything else is going to be broken down to where they can be in the points whenever the thing's reset.
Yeah, and that'll be update probably here in the next 24 hours at most, and we'll see exactly who gets in, but yeah, I do believe Paulison's going to be the last seeded truck in there, or actually Brett Johnson possibly, depending on where his points were, because he did not show up for tonight's race. So
right.
But yeah, we'll keep up to date on that for sure. So keep up to date there on the Sim Racer Hub section for the Northwest Truck Series, and yeah, we'll have all the information ready next week.
And the playoffs begin next Monday night again at Phoenix Raceway. Hopefully you can join us for the opening race of the round of 16. This has been a presentation of course, iRacing on LSRTV. More details at livesimracing.com, the Community Radio Network at wearecrn.com on the radio side of things. And, of course, at wearecrn.com. You can also check out the Northwest Racing Series on social media. If you'd like to become a member of the Northwest in Season 12, get signed up soon, as all that will be firing up again right after the playoffs conclude, and a new year will be upon us as well. Congratulations to Dan West Jr., win 2 of the year, wins tonight at Talladega. We'll wait to see what 16 drivers will race towards the Season 11 championship of the Northwest Racing Series. For everybody at Rocket Racing Media, for Jeff Stabnow and, of course, Charles Wooten, Jeremy Stanley, this is Wesley Outland, thanking you and yours for joining us. We'll see you again next Monday night